Second, the sessional paper number 3 of 2021, the National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights. Mr. Speaker, for many years in this country, human rights issues have been against government, that government is trampling on the human rights of its citizens. And for many years, we had civil rights organizations and a lot of CBOs that came out to protest against the abuse of human rights. But now, as human rights platforms have moved, now it is looking at what are businesses doing? What are businesses doing? What are organizations? What are profitable organizations doing? What are non-state actor organizations doing in terms of human rights? And this action plan that is being tabled today and moved is a step towards strengthening human rights with governance, linking good governance with human rights in this country. And it is not only looking at governance from the state perspective, but also at the business perspective. Many times, Mr. Speaker, you have organizations that are profit-making. They make huge profits in this country, but they trample on the rights of individuals, especially labor rights. And when these people whose rights are being trampled on, they do not have a judicial recourse. They cannot have judicial remedies because these companies are powerful, these companies have connections, these companies are such that they're untouchable. But today, the launch of this organization is a big reprieve for this country, that today you can actually seek judicial remedy because you work in an organization, and in that organization, your rights have been trampled on, and you can actually seek it and get it because today we are doing that. And we want to tell these big companies, multi-agencies, the blue chip companies, respect human rights, respect the rights of the people that work for you. Very many factories today get built in this country by foreigners, even by Kenyans. But when people start working there, one of the things that they do is women's rights. How are women respected in that organization? When women are employed, what mechanisms are used to employ those women? How are they treated? Are they sexually abused? Are they talking about child labor? And that child labor is actually a travesty on human rights. But it has continued in many organizations. Today, this action plan that is being moved in this, and we're asking for adoption in this parliament, is guarding against child labor. That children should be given the opportunity to go to school, complete school, and seek employment. But child labor is a source of cheap labor. And many organizations actually look for it and employ young people so that they can get cheap labor out of it. We are saying as a country, as a nation, we are the second to launch this action plan. We are saying we need to move forward, protect our children from unscrupulous business people who are looking for cheap labor. Mr. Speaker, when you look at this action plan, it has pillars that provides guidelines for businesses to promote human rights, to give judicial remedies, and also to give individual communities an opportunity to defend their rights. Mr. Speaker, there are communities in this country that live at the behest of big multinationals because they have an opportunity to do mining. When they are doing mining in that area, they do not care about the environmental issues in that place. These people get respiratory diseases because a company in that area is doing mining, they are emitting dust, they are emitting dangerous gases, but these people have nowhere to go. But we are telling these companies that are setting up factories in those areas and they want to use land and they do want to do mining, we have an action plan. Look at it so that as you're developing your SOPs as an organization, you are able to protect the environment and protect the rights of those people. Mr. Speaker, a lot of the big roads that are being made today, people go out to get maram. They get a lot of materials from other places. But when you go there, Mr. Speaker, they leave huge excavations, huge holes on the land, and they don't care about it. Land rights are human rights. But yet the rights of these people who live in this place are not protected. What you hear is a child was passing by, walked inside there, the water was very deep, and that child died. And there is no recourse for that child who died or the family that lost that person. A person working in a factory has his hand cut because of a machine, but that person has no remedy in law or in courts, or does not get the opportunity for judicial reviews or such like things because that company does not want to give that worker an opportunity. The pay, Mr. Speaker, that is given to workers who work in some of these factories is something that is shameful for a country. But because we do not have an action plan for infusing human rights within business activities, then our people suffer. Mr. Speaker, we are asking this House to pass this action plan. But we should not just pass this action plan, we should ensure it is enforced so that our people in this country are respected, their human rights are respected wherever they work, wherever they are, so that big businesses do not make profit with trampling on the rights of our people. Mr. Speaker, I second and I ask this House to read this, and the committees in this House, every committee, as you meet your ministers, as you meet the people in the ministry, tell them that there's an action plan on human rights and business. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I second.
Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. I now propose the question that this House adopt sessional paper number 3 of 2021 on the